3 rings for the Elven-kings under the sky. 7 for the dwarf lords in their halls of stone. 9 for mortal men doomed to die. 1 for the Dark Lord on his dark throne.
Three, 7, 9, 1. Why did Tolkien choose these numbers? Why not 2, 4, 5, 6, or 8? Do they possess a magical significance in our world? What do the Bible, Jewish Kabbalah, Aleksandr Pushkin, quantum physics, the Lord of the Rings, computer technology, and Tolkien's biography have in common? Did Tolkien treat even and odd numbers equally? How can you see someone who is wearing the ring? What is the significance of the magic of love and pity in The Lord of the Rings, and how does it influence the probabilities of events? How many Nazgul rings were destroyed in Orodruin at the end of The Lord of the Rings? Who are the hobbit children living in Minas Tirith? What is the second poem in The Lord of the Rings, featuring the same numbers 3, 7, 9, and 1 as the numbers of the ring-bearers? If you want answers to this and other questions related to the magic of numbers in The Lord of the Rings, simply keep watching. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Thank you. 3, 7, 9, 1. Why did Tolkien choose these numbers? Were these numbers significant prior to The Lord of the Rings? Let's begin with single-digit numbers from 1 to 9 and spend 10 minutes discussing the history of these numbers in human culture and religion. The stories related to these numbers date back thousands of years, and while our history and culture have paid attention to certain numbers, it has ignored others. Number 3. One of the oldest and most popular numbers is the number 3. Ancient Greeks and Romans believed in the Moirai, fates, 3 sisters who controlled destiny, the 3 Charités, graces, representing beauty, charm, and grace, and the Erinyes, furies, goddesses of vengeance, also numbering 3. The hellish Greek dog, Cerberus, who guards the entrance to the underworld, is depicted with 3 heads, each facing a different direction. The Trojan War began due to a dispute among 3 goddesses, Athena, Hera, and Aphrodite, who sought the judgment of Paris, the Prince of Troy, to settle the dispute. In Christianity, the number 3 also holds significant symbolism. The Holy Trinity represents the 3 divine persons of God, the Father, the Son, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit. In the temptations of Jesus, he faced 3 temptations by Satan in the wilderness. Peter's denial, according to the Gospels, occurred 3 times before the rooster crowed, fulfilling Jesus' prediction of his betrayal. Regarding the resurrection, Jesus Christ rose on the 3rd day after his crucifixion. Tolkien also had a fondness for the number 3 and frequently incorporated it into his works. The 3 Silmarils. These were 3 jewels crafted by Fëanor in the First Age, which played a central role in the conflicts depicted in the Silmarillion. The 3 elven rings, known as Nenya, Narya, and Vilya, these rings were entrusted to Galadriel, Gandalf, and Elrond, respectively. The 3 wizards, Gandalf, Saruman, and Radagast, actively participate in both The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings stories. Number 7. History of the number 7 predates that of the number 3. In ancient Egypt, people believed in 7 paths to heaven. Ancient Greece counted the 7 wonders of the world. Ancient Greeks wrote the great epic tragedy, 7 Against Thebes. Christian tradition includes the 7 deadly sins. In Islam, there are 7 pillars of wisdom. Even our current week, consists of 7 days named after ancient gods and planets, including Sunday, Moon Day, and Saturn Day. We know that only Saturn is a planet, but ancient Greek and Roman people considered the sun and moon as planets as well. Tolkien also had a fondness for the number 7 and frequently incorporated it into his works. Moria has 7 stars on its entrance, symbolizing the 7 dwarven clans. Similarly, Minas Tirith also features 7 stars, and the number of Palantirs is also equal to 7. Additionally, the number of dwarven rings is also 7. Number 9. The number 9 was less popular than 3 or 7, but still received attention throughout history. The Jewish menorah contains 9 candles. In ancient Greece, there were 9 muses, each representing different forms of art and knowledge, such as epic poetry, history, music, comedy, and astronomy. The Hydra, a mythological monster in ancient Greek mythology, is depicted with 9 heads. Christianity believed in 9 circles of hell, detailed by Dante in his great work, The Divine Comedy. Number 1. And of course, the number 1 is important in human culture as it is in The Lord of the Rings. Judaism, Christianity, and Islam are all monotheistic religions, meaning they are belief systems that worship or acknowledge the existence of only one deity or god. In most known social systems throughout history, supreme authority is vested in a single individual who holds titles such as king, queen, emperor, empress, or kaiser. Therefore, it is not surprising that Tolkien refers to the Dark Lord Sauron as the Lord of the Rings. Interestingly, in contrast, while Gondor and Rohan had their own kings and the Elvish realms, Rivendell and Lothlorien, had their own leaders, the most important decisions were made in councils where kings and Elvish leaders had equal voices alongside regular elves, people, and hobbits. Other numbers. As we observe our history and culture, single-digit numbers 1, 3, 7, and 9 are often regarded as special numbers with divine and mystical significance. Other single-digit numbers, such as 2, 4, 5, 6, and 8, have a weaker presence in our history and culture. For the number 2, examples include the two-faced deity Janus, as well as well-known pairs of friends or lovers such as Castor and Pollux in ancient Greece, Adam and Eve in the Bible, and Romeo and Juliet in literature. Number 4 holds significance in science, being associated with the 4 seasons, spring, summer, autumn, winter, the 4 classical elements, earth, air, fire, water, the 4 cardinal directions, north, south, east, west, and geometry. Number 5 is also meaningful in science, often associated with the 5 human senses. For number 6, notable references include the 6 days of creation, with the additional 7th day of rest, and the Jewish Star of David. Regarding number 8, I've not found significant representations of it in art. As we see, numbers 3, 7, 9, and 1 were very significant in human culture and art during thousands of years, while other single-digits numbers have much less a representation in the culture and art, if any. Even without delving into the plot of The Lord of the Rings, we can see that Tolkien brilliantly incorporated all 4 of the most charismatic and in some sense mystical numbers, 3, 7, 9, and 1, crystallized by world cultures and religions into his masterpiece. Like what you're watching? Show your support. Hit the like button below. Thank you. 2-digit and 3-digit numbers. Now we could discuss 2-digit numbers and highlight a few important ones, such as 12, 13, and 24. However, to save time, let's skip ahead and focus on the magical combination of 1, 3, and 7, which appears in the Bible, Jewish Kabbalah, Aleksandr Pushkin, and Pyotr Tchaikovsky's opera, quantum physics, The Lord of the Rings, computer technology, and even in Tolkien's biography itself. The first documented link between the number 137 and mysticism dates back to the 12th to 13th century. During this time, in Spain and southern France, a mystical branch of Jewish thought emerged known as Kabbalah, KBLH. which explores the nature of the divine and the creation of the universe. In Hebrew, letters also have numerical values, and the numerical value of the Hebrew word Kabbalah is 137. The number 137 is first mentioned in the biblical Psalm 137 by the rivers of Babylon, dating back 2,500 years. Although other psalms exist alongside it, Psalm 137 stands out for its poignant themes and memorable verses. This psalm has been widely referenced in literature, music, and art throughout history. Queen of Spades. The next appearance of the number 137 emerged in the 19th century in Russia. In his mystical story, The Queen of Spades, written by the great Russian poet Aleksandr Pushkin, the ghost of the Countess, killed by the central character Herman, appears to him in the middle of the night and reveals the secret 3 cards, 3, 7, and Ace, that will win in the 3 following gambles. Since Ace in card games usually represents 1, we interpret the message 3, 7, 1 as sent to our world from another world by the ghost of the murdered Countess. By strange coincidence, Aleksandr Pushkin, the author of The Queen of Spades, himself died in 1837 at the age of 37. The next appearance of the number 137 emerged in 1916 in the field of quantum physics, where it is now magnificently referred to as the fine structure constant. This dimensionless quantity is related to the strength of the coupling of an elementary charge, E, with the electromagnetic field. The fine structure constant combines the electron charge, the Planck constant, the speed of light, vacuum permittivity, and the number p all together. Its inverse value is approximately equal to 137. Why the constant should have this specific value is not yet understood. The Lord of the Rings. In 1954 to 55, The Lord of the Rings was published, forever intertwining the numbers 1, 3, 7, and 9, and imbuing them with eternal magic.
3 rings for the Elven-kings under the sky. 7 for the dwarf lords in their halls of stone. 9 for mortal men doomed to die. 1 for the Dark Lord on his dark throne.
As we've seen, Tolkien brilliantly included all the charismatic numbers 1, 3, 7, and 9 in The Lord of the Rings. Few are aware that besides the primary poem revealing the number of ring-bearers as 3, 7, 9, and 1, The Lord of the Rings also contains another poem with the same coded numbers. This poem, found in Tolkien's book, was omitted from the movie adaptation. Pippin hears it from Gandalf during their journey to Minas Tirith.
At last, the wizard passed into a song of which the hobbit caught the words. A few lines came clear to his ears through the rushing of the wind.
Tall ships and tall kings, 3 times 3. What brought they from the founded land over the flowing sea? 7 stars and 7 stones and 1 white tree.
"What are you saying, Gandalf?" asked Pippin. "What is it about the 7 stars and 7 stones?"
About the Palantiri of the kings of old, said Gandalf.
And what are they?
The name meant that which looks far away. The Orthanc stone was one.
The story of 137 continued even after The Lord of the Rings was written. The development of computers necessitated the use of the binary system, representing all numbers as zeros and ones. It's worth noting that numbers 1, 3, and 7 appear in the binary system as 1, 1, 1, and 1, 1, 1. And the last mystical coincidence is related to J.R.R. Tolkien's own biography. Tolkien died in 1973, which, by a strange coincidence, comprises the same numbers 3, 7, 9, and 1 as the main poem presented at the beginning of The Lord of the Rings, albeit in reverse order. Note that this mystical coincidence occurs not within the fantasy world created by Tolkien, but rather in his life in our own real world. Enjoyed our video? Please don't forget to hit the like button below. Thank you.